Hey, what's your self talk? Jabari is here again with you to encourage you to ask that important question. What's your self talk? Hey, so having a little camera problem, so I did have to go back to my Logotech camera. I have my high def camera set up, but it's giving me a little problems today. So a little low quality today, but little low quality as far as the look, but still quality value. So if you're new to What's Your Self Talk, what I do here is continue to introduce to you ideas, concept, and experts who understand how to cultivate the right mindset. And so today I'm going to talk about your What's Your Self Talk mentor. Now, you may heard me talk about this once before, and I had an interview with Terrence Murphy. And this one here is a new one. And this time I have another great mentor of mine who is Willie Moore Jr. Now, if you want access to the full interview, what you have to do is go to the link, which is What's Your Self Talk. I'm sorry, wystmentor.com/TM5. So I'll make sure I have that in the post. But for the most part, why do you need What's Your Self Talk mentor? So What's Your Self Talk first allows you to ask the question, what is the information that I need to start processing off of? Because here's the thing, we get a lot of information thrown at us. We need to start taking the more quality information and allowing ourselves to act off of that, use that as a guidance for us. So why do I make it a habit of mine to get some of these interviews and then bring them to you so that we can talk more? Well, first, it's because let's get this up, wisdom. Because we need to understand, what do we need to do, and wisdom to make better choices for ourselves so that we can understand something's going to work not just now but in the future. Too many of us go on living impulsively, not really thinking through what we need to do. And you don't want to live a life where you start looking back and you regretting the decisions you made because you didn't just take the diligent time to think. And that's why I love the What's Your Soft mentors, because you can hear how they have reached the level of success they have made and what was the mindset that they used to get there. And that's great wisdom for you. And then when you be able to listen to some of them, you also get understanding. You have to understand what are the things that you need to do on a daily basis. Now, when I talk to these individuals, I ask them about their routine. I ask them what helped them cultivate the mindset that they have right now that allow them to get to where they're at today. And then if you understand how they process it, the season they were in and why they cultivated that certain mindset, and you can start embracing on that mindset. It's like, oh, I understand this. And so when you're in the trenches and you remember, you know what, I remember they said that they did this because they remember that they may didn't have that much money. And so they grew the right mindset to allow them to get to a point where it's like, all right, this is who I want to be. And well, this is who I want to be, and this is who I want to be in the future. Because let's face it, we get tired of acting to be someone we're not, and I have to check myself on this a lot, because what happened is we used to putting up this front, like I have to have it all together. Like I would love to be able to go through this and not hesitate or not pause, but sometimes I gotta pause, I gotta slow down so that I can make sure what I'm saying makes sense. And also, I want to make sure I have the lights. I want to make sure I have the great setup. All don't happen, but I have to remember, being able to come forward and give you the necessary information that's going to be quality information so that you can move forward is better than not doing it at all. So I have to remember that. So if you understand, or not just my mindset, but other individuals and the understanding they had in that season, in those tough times, and you can understand what are the things that I need to do to move forward. And so next, last but not least, they give you guidance. So What's Your Self mentors gives you wisdom, understanding, and guidance. So we have to understand what are the things that we want to move forward and do. So I am going to give you a glimpse of Mr. Willie Moore Jr. So be patient. I know you was getting tired of me talking, but I just want you to be able to hear a little of it. I'm gonna come back, recap, and we're gonna wrap it up. All right, check it out. Here we go. Gotta make sure you good. All right. I know this, but tell me a little bit about your story. How have you gotten to where you are today?
Indeed, I always tell people I failed my way all the way to where I am right now. Like I've never been afraid to attempt to try to do anything. Like if God put it in my heart, I'm going for it. Sometimes I outrun God a little bit because, like the one thing I'm learning in my as I mature is that I can sometimes miss the timing of God, meaning what season. But of course, man, dude from St. Louis, Missouri, my diploma read Ferguson Florissant School District. In my neighborhood, there was just a lot of everything going on. Tried to be tough, but I realized that I couldn't be because I can't really fight that good. Like, so I learned how to okay, I can just run fast. So I ended up getting a track scholarship.
Yeah.
Because I could run from the game members, I just couldn't really fight that well. So ended up getting a track scholarship to the University of Mississippi, signed with Universal Records. Was this guy named Pretty Willie. And then I had kids. Kids took the Pretty. I'm holding on to Handsome. Okay.
Hold on to it.
I'm just holding on like that.
Man,
and, man, then the Lord had an encounter with the Lord. He was like, your way or my way. I ended up going back to St. Louis, starting this thing called the Young Flying Save movement. It hit the internet. It went viral. Kids got excited about the Lord, and I never stopped running for Him.
Yeah. So that's really when I found you kind of in that transition of Young Fly and Save. I knew the Pretty Willie, but I was like, I like what this transition he's in. And that's when I really clinged on to who you were. And a lot of that was accredited to your faith.
Amen.
Tell me a lot about what was that change in that season that allowed you to say, okay, I need to start living this way because the way I was living before is not really allowing me to see the fruits in my life, or it's not really leading me to the life that I want. Tell me more about that.
You know what? It's two roads. Like everywhere is leading you somewhere. Like for me, I realized that I had a family now. I had children, and I just noticed my children wanting to be exactly like me. And then I had to self-assess and said, you know what? Maybe I'm not the man that I want to be for them. Right. Like I didn't want my kids to see me on stage with my shirt off hunching. I didn't want them to see me in and out of hotel rooms, disrespecting their mother. Like I realized every seed that I was planting in them was a pertinent one. Like I'm literally writing their testimony. So what type of testimony do I want to write for my children? So that's why I always challenge people, do what you got to do. Hustle how you got to hustle, but know that you're writing the testimony of your children. Meaning one day they're going to stand on stage, they're going to talk about their life, and I just want to know how will you be noted in their life. I wanted to be the guy that they say, my dad was my hero.
Yeah.
And so that switched my whole life. And the only way that I could become the hero with all the hurt, pain, and issues that I have on the inside was through Jesus Christ. I started reading this Bible, not for a history lesson, but okay, cool. So if this is true, just show me the principles. And I took the principles, applied them to my life, and life ain't never been the same.
I love that.
Okay, so there you go. You got your little dose, but I want you to be able to go to this link. I put it right here. If you want to be able to see the full episode, make sure you go there. It's going to ask you for your email. You're going to see the first interview, and then also I'm going to upload this one as well. But here's what I want you to catch from everything that Willie said, and this is what I love him so much. He's so passionate about his faith in Jesus, but also how he understood the lifestyle he was living was not going to be the example he wanted to set for his kids. And so for me, about to be a first-time father, I don't know if I told you, my wife is pregnant. So being a first-time father, it's you want to hear that information. You want to understand, okay, if I'm building a business and I'm building a brand, what are the things that I need to listen to? Or what is the advice that I need to follow? So I don't, go down the wrong path. What is something that you, Willie Moore, needed to, come to, ask yourself that question, what's your self-talk, and what are the things that I'm doing now that I really don't want to do because I don't want that to be the example for my kids. I don't want them to see me this way, disrespecting their mom. And that takes self-reflection, and that also takes you being honest with yourself. When you're honest with yourself, just like Willie Moore was, like I said, and if you just join and make sure you can be able to look at this link, you can be able to check out the interview. We just got done recapping. You can watch the replay of this, but just going back to what Willie Moore said is that if you're not willing to reflect and see what are the things that I need to change about myself and not worry about what everybody else is doing, but what are the things that I need to do so I can be a better example for my kids, so they won't see me hunching on stage. They see me singing on this song, disrespecting their mom. It starts with you being an example. And I love what he said. He said, because one day I want my kids to be able to say, my dad was my hero. And that's it. When you have mentors who think like that, but also not thinking but acting on those type of thoughts, then you start seeing someone who are living a lifestyle that you're like, man, that's who I want my son to look up to, or I want to be that individual. So that's why I bring you What's Your Self-Taught Mentor. Remember, it's for wisdom. We all need wisdom so we can understand what to do. We need understanding. Then we need guidance. We all need guidance in this life, and there's so much information. So I hope that you'll be able to go watch this interview, What's Your Self-Talk, and just be encouraged. That's Willie Moore for you. And I love his personality. He reminds me more of how I need to continue to embrace some of my entertaining and fun side, because if anybody know me personally, I'm all full of joy, and I love having fun. So he's helping me understand how to do that as well, so that I don't have to keep on putting on masks and you be like, well, is what's the that's the same Jabari? Yeah, this is me. So thank you for watching. If you're watching this in replay, if you want to be able to see how to get this full access, make sure you go there. It will ask you for your email, and then you can be able to see the first interview, and then you also will start getting follow-up and information on how to access the rest of the interviews. So, as you know, that question I always ask you, I need you to go and take challenge. No, excuse me. I need you to go and take advantage. If you're not having the right self-talk, if you're not telling yourself the right things, what are the things you need to start doing? And then start telling yourself, if you have the seeds of greatness inside of you, how do you need to start planting and nurturing those seeds with the right information? And it starts by identifying when you're going off the wrong information. And that's why you ask yourself, what's your self-talk? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.